Welcome to the Salt Stands Alone podcast. My name is Hank, and I stand alone. I'm here by myself, nobody else. So I was looking at GIFs of Mega Man, looking for Mega Man GIFs, and one pops up that's his taunt with the transparent background, but it's his taunt from the Marvel vs. Capcom games, which is in the games accompanied by the noise boo or something like that. But just looking at the pose, what he's doing, which is he's bent over, he has his hands next to his head, and then his eyes roll back, and he like sticks his tongue out, like opens his mouth wide. And without the noise, the like obvious taunting noise, that's just Mega Man's Ahegao face. And that's internet brain rot on my part. But also just, the difference between seeing an image with a sound and seeing an image out of context changes it. And why did I tell that story? Because I want to title the episode Mega Man's Ahegao face. I woke up with back pain today. Just like, I woke up in exactly the same position I fell asleep in. Like, I was a rock while I was asleep. I had not moved. And I just had this, stiffness in the back, like close to my neck, upper back. And it sucks. And I feel like sleeping has betrayed me. Because, like, usually it's like, oh, I'm tired, or, I have a little bit of headache. I go to sleep, wake up in the morning, feel great. It's supposed to be a rejuvenation. I'm not supposed to go to sleep feeling fine and then wake up and it just hurts. It's cheating. No. Why would I go to sleep then? If it's just going to be bad, it's going to make it worse. Fucking watching you sleep. Body has betrayed me. I was like feeling a little bit better over the course of the day. I took an aspirin, but it sucks. It's not fun. And it's not even like real bad back pain. It's just like, but it just sucks, There's something's bad in my upper back. There's snow on the ground everywhere. There's still snow piled up. It's not gone away. And so walking around my neighborhood, it's fucking disgusting. Because there are so many people with dogs in this neighborhood that basically every 3 feet, the snow is just like covered in urine. And it's just gross walking down the street. I don't know, man. You should have to clean that up. You should scoop that snow away. That's not cool, man. It's fucking everywhere. Because they gotta mark their territory. And just like realize how much dogs are pissing on the ground normal, but usually it doesn't just like, it's not just there forever. For fucking days. The snow is like hard ice because it's cold and it's not melting. It's not good. So I guess just to talk about my speedrun record for Spider-Man for Super Nintendo. It stood for 9 years, was broken. But not by a ton. It was broken by like 3 seconds. And there was, and in watching the new run, the new record, there were so many mistakes. But importantly, there was new tech. And new tech that was easy. Like basically taking hits on a boss fight in order to, which resulted in an enemy pattern that was led to the fight going faster. Which is just like one of those things that's antithetical to the way I learned the game, which was just playing it casually over and over again and optimizing based around that. And this was more like, what if you just ate the hits, and then the basically if you don't jump, then the alien spider slayer, instead of bouncing all around the screen, just rolls a set amount across and then it tries to attack you again. And if you just eat the hit every time, you can walk back and forth and just kick it to death much quicker. So then I got to start running the game again, doing that. So it was like exactly the kind of run of my record being broken that was energizing for me to then go and re-break that run, which took about 2 days. And I still need to get back in there and optimize that new stuff, because I'm sure I can cut off some more seconds. And importantly, get a sub 16-minute record, because some of my best segments is now sub 16. So it's definitely possible. I just have to put it all together. And that's so fun. It's not even fun isn't even the right word. It was like so energizing. Like it was just like, oh, all I want to do now is go improve this. And when you're de-rusting, that doesn't feel great. You're like, oh my god, how am I not doing this? Or just like you're holding this controller in your hands. I'm pressing buttons. And I'm like, but my hands are not doing the thing I need to do, because what I need to do is like specific and precise, and if it's slightly off, it's like really bad. But when it was all coming together, and it was like gold split, and I knew that I was hitting the shit, well, I felt like fucking Speed Racer. Like it was so good. It was such a good high of gameplay, of knowing I was nailing it after putting in the work. That shit's fucking good. Like that's why you do it, right? Like, because when you know that you're just fucking zooming and nothing's going, and you're doing everything right, it's like extremely satisfying. That's why video games are pretty fucking good, even when they're bad. Yeah, and there wasn't anything too much fancier than that. I'm still waiting for the day that someone like breaks that game in a way that's insane, that like you just glitch through a wall and get right to the end or something. I feel like that game can't be programmed that like doesn't happen. I don't know. So that game is so shoddily put together. I'm just like, there has to be some crazy thing you could do, but I don't know what it is. Or at least like skip some segment. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, I approved the run, and then like the next day I got a new record and beat it. So I think the record had been beaten for like 9 days, but it was only on the speedrun as the number one for like a day because I didn't see it immediately when it was submitted, and then I beat it like 2 days after that or whatever. It was beaten. My record was beaten for like 6 days total, according to speedrun.com. And I'm also wondering if that person's gonna do another run because they could also break 16 minutes. It also seems doable. Their run was like pretty sloppy, and they're like, their username's Sorry Babe. They're way more of a speedrunner than I am. They have records in tons of games, like Resident Evil stuff. Like their username's a Kendo reference, which is hilarious because the other player besides Paul on the who do Burning Wheel with, his username is Maggie Poo, but if you look at the link on to their run and their YouTube channel, their username is also Kendo. It's all Resident Evil fucking interests. It's just fucking weird. But I mean, Resident Evil is one of the biggest speed games, so or not games, series. One of the biggest series. It's weird that no individual Resident Evil game is like at the peak on speedrun.com, but like the series is just incredibly played, like across the board. Anyway. And it also got me thinking about other things I should do with that game. Like I want to get all the retro achievements. I want to do a long play with no commentary. Is a thing I should have done fucking years ago. And then maybe I can think about doing the actual no damage run without spider armor, which is gonna be a fucking nightmare. So that one might not happen. I might just want to do other things with my life than play that game that much, but because that's more a thing I was thinking about in a world where my record was going to still stand and I wasn't going to have to get back into speedrunning it. But you know, it felt really good to be dethroned and to then reclaim, to reassert. That shit feels like fucking fire. And it is very funny. Like because my first run that I was feeling so good, that I made like a brutal mistake and lost tons of time, and then just finished off the run for the hell of it, and that re-broke the record. That was the first time I re-broke the record, and then like I just kept playing and then broke it again a little bit better later. So that's how it goes. I've been playing a lot of standard Magic the Gathering recently. I'm just doing the best of one thing. I'm trying out the best of one. And the Pro Tour happened. I didn't really watch any of it. But there are a lot of interesting decks. And here's the thing with current standard. It's fucking busted in half. But like there are a bunch of decks that are just fucking absurd. Like the things that are happening in standard Magic currently, they're just not fucking okay. Like I don't know. They're like really fucked up. So to like be a successful deck, you have to be doing some absurd shit and playing. And I don't really know what the counterplay is to all of it because I'm playing fucking best of one. So I don't really know what the actual texture of the matches are. I just am pushing the button to go vroom and then hope that my opponent who's also doing that doesn't do it faster, which is not like the same as what the Pro Tour is, where there are, you have sideboarded games where you actually try to stop your opponent or whatever. But I've been playing this Elementals Is It deck. That is basically like the Pauper Terror decks, in that you're just trying to dump spells into your graveyard and then resolve threats that are reduced in cost based on the cards in your hand. Let me pull up the list so I remember the names of these cards. Like, you play Hearth Elemental from Woe, which is a 6-mana 4/5 with an adventure side that you basically never cast. That's generic cost is reduced by instants and sorceries in your graveyard. And you play Eddie Merc Crab from Bloomburrow, which is a 5/5 for 7, 5 colorless, 2 blue, with flash that's reduced by each instant and sorcery in your graveyard. And when it enters, you get to tap 2 creatures, so it be a defensive thing. And then there's this new elemental, Sunderflock, which is really the thing that makes the deck work, which is a 9-mana 5/5 flyer, but elemental. But when you cast it, it costs X less to cast based on the mana value of the highest mana value of an elemental you control. And the Eddie Merc Crab and the Hearth Elemental are both elementals. So it's either being reduced by 6 or 7, depending on which one of those you have when you cast it. So it's either 3 mana or 2 mana when you can cast it. And when the most important part is that when it enters, if you cast it, you return all non-elementals to their owner's hands. So in a world where people are like Badgermole cubbing, chaining Badgermole cubs into an Ouroboros to get a huge giant board really quickly or whatever, you just play this and you brick their whole game. And then you immediately kill them. It's not like you cast a board wipe and then sit there or whatever. And that's fun. And I've had that happen to me, and I was like, well, maybe I should play that deck. I don't know. It's still pretty vulnerable. Like, occasionally you'll play a deck that's just main decking Rest in Peace, and I'm like, well, I'm fucked. And then there's some Wrath decks that use like the Deadly Cover-Up spell that allows them to remove everything from your graveyard, so they can just get rid of all your Hearth Elementals and Edmure Crabs and your Sunderflocks, and then you'd like literally have no threats left in your deck. Or even, just hitting the 2 that actually let you cast your spells. It's pretty fucked. And the rest of your deck is just like cantrips and a little bit of burn, a little bit of counter magic. It's just weird because there's also there's an avatar based deck around airbending, and you play the bear druid that reduces the cost of spells you cast from exile or whatever. I think that's what that does. So all your airbending costs are free, and you just chain through your deck in a completely absurd way. I just like seen that happen. I'm like, what the fuck? So they just take game actions after game actions after game actions in standard. There's also from Avatar, there's the Lessons deck, which is still really good. That's the deck I was playing before. I was also been playing. That deck is just really good. But sometimes you just don't have. You are like building a contraption, and sometimes you just don't have the stuff. Yeah, Doc Arlock, Grizzled Genius, is the bear druid. Plotting spells you cast from your graveyard or from exile cost 2 less to cast. Insane to have that with airbending in the same standard. There's like some reanimation stuff based around Superior Spider-Man, which is a 4 mana, 2 generic, a blue and a black for a 4/4. But when it enters, you may have it enter as a copy of any creature card in your graveyard, except it's still Superior Spider-Man and still a 4/4. And you can combo that with the new elementals. So specifically the blue-black one is Deceit, which lets you bounce a permanent and Thoughtseize them. And you can also, like, just get out some absurd threat. Like, they're also playing Doomsday Excruciator, which is like a 6 black mana, 6/6 demon. That, like, exiles both your libraries. Except, like, 6 cards. And there's like Harvester of Misery stuff. I don't know. Just weird, wild stuff happening. And that deck also just plays the deadly cover-ups. Well, only 2 of them. There's like just a normal elementals deck that just plays Vibrance and Wistfulness and Deceit, along with a bunch of other elemental matters cards. Another card that's getting a lot of play, it's also in the elementals deck, is Wintermight Stories. Just 3 mana to draw 3 cards. You then discard 2 cards unless you discard a creature card, but it has Harmonize. So for 5, which allows you to flash it back basically, but you get to reduce that cost, the generic cost, by tapping a creature. So you tap and it refuses by their power. So it works really well with these elementals like Sunderflock. Oh, this is a Sunderflock. This is just a different build of the Sunderflock deck. I see. There's a version different than the one I'm running that is also running Vibrance and Wistfulness. I should try that. Interesting. This one's just all creatures. There's a deck that's built around Mistform Harmonizer, which is a card that has a landfall trigger that when you play a land, you double the power of target creature. So that's fun. Play it with Ice Till. There's like a weird toolboxy deck that runs fucking a Crater of Behemoth and is built around Formidable Speaker, which is one of my favorite cards from Eldraine, which is the 3 mana elf druid that lets you, when it enters, you discard a card and you get to search up any creature, and you can tap 1 and tap it to untap target permanent. It's a 2/4. That card's also just fucking. I've been playing that a lot in Gladiator decks. I've been trying out different forms of Bant-based decks around Nadu. Because Formidable Speaker just like makes all your lines to get to Nadu combo much easier and better. So I've been experimenting with a green-white like aggro deck that just also has that package, and I've been playing Warpod, which is more based around flickering, a deck that's more based around flickering or stuff. in addition to like my normal Bat plus black deck. There's also just a Jeskai control deck that's good. And it just main decks rest in peace. Because fucking these graveyard strategies are insane. It is wild that we're at a point where, when you're at a point where someone's main decking rest in peace, you know the format's fucking broken. And it's so many different things. Like, it's not one deck. It's kind of the cool part. You can't say, like, it's not like the problem with the Vivi era of Vivi being broken Vivi was just clearly the most broken thing. And we were just all doing Vivi. Now there are, like, multiple decks that are just completely fucking absurd. But it's good to see that the green decks have gotten good, in particular, have really been helped out with the Formidable Speaker, because those were the ones at the last Pro Tour that didn't. Badgermole Cub was very present, but it was had one of the worst win rates for a card that was that widely played. It seems like it just did better this time. I don't know. I haven't heard anybody else talk about Sinners. I don't know what the opinions on it are. And I didn't watch the event either. I've just been jamming best of one. And then looking at lists. It's interesting. It's interesting how fucked up it is. It's like the magic that's going on here is actually absurd. It's just, that's my speed. That's when I start to perk up. Like, is this magic fucking completely fucked up? Yeah? Yeah. That's my Nadu jammin' lovin' heart. Really unclear to me what the and they're just a lot of variety in the top 8, which is neat. Something's going right. It's not at least all the same broken deck. Anyway. Yeah. Asic leg for Gladiator wrapped. I've started scripting my video that I'm gonna make. Now that I've been in sort of an impasse where I want to work on that video, but also I needed to record this, and I didn't know what I was going to talk about for this podcast, so it kind of stalled me out last night. So I'm glad to have this done. Now I can go work on that video. And I did, and I started scripting out sort of the intro to it, because I want it to be kind of an introductory thing to the idea of Artisan Gladiator, and then talk about decks specifically. So I'm excited to make that. I also wanted to get started on that earlier in the week, but then the Spider-Man thing happened, and that took my free time. I went to see John Woo's Hard Boiled in a movie theater, and that was a delight. And I'm going to make Ben watch that movie so we can hoot and holler about it, because that is a movie to hoot and holler about. Let me tell you. It's fucking gorgeous too. The 4K restoration was really good. And that movie's just fucking gorgeous. It's also fucking wild. It's so funny. It's like it's the classic. You jump with dueling pistols, shooting with slow motion, but then just also just all the other stuff happens too. It's a movie of excess, so that's fun. Um, I have like a lot of prep I need to do for there's a lot of stuff to watch for February recording time. It's February now. That's coming up on me. I need to get on that. All right. I think that's a full podcast. I've also have async leagues starting up for Canadian Highlander and Pioneer Pioneer Highlander. So that should be fun. I definitely feel less confident about my Highlander deck than I did my Artisan Gladiator deck. My Artisan Gladiator deck, I felt like I was cracking it and I was doing a thing that's like the best thing to do. Highlander, I'm really like, I'm here to jam the deck I want to jam and have a good time. So I'm not expecting to have that great a record ultimately. I think I'll get some wins, but I don't think what I'm doing with my 5-color humans list is the most powerful thing to do in the format, and it's not the most consistent thing either. Like my deck can just lose to itself if I don't get mana. But also, I play with Lorwyn coming out and not having any humans in it, which is a big thing, because kind of the idea I had with wanting to build humans is like the power creep of new sets having new humans all the time. Like Avatar had, good new humans like Aang. I thought it was like the banger of Spider-Man and then Aang, and then we're getting Marvel this year. But right now, I feel like you could play a Pioneer Lander Elementals deck, and you'd be sitting pretty. Because it's one of those things where I feel like it's going to be a problem in this format, where, I mean, not a problem, but like it is going to be a defining aspect of it that the power creep of standard is going to define the meta a lot. Because it's just new cards keep being absurd. And I just feel like the pool for Pioneer Highlander of powerful cards is not as deep. So I feel like that it's just going to be still feel in flux in a way that Gladiator now I don't expect to be that way. Like Gladiator did not feel like there are playable cards in Lore and Eclipse, but it did not feel as impactful maybe because Gladiator has a mature card pool. So if you're looking at cards, you're looking at where they go in good decks. It's pretty hard to, say this is going to be a new deck or whatever. You're not going to have the density to compete with the strongest stuff until there's a Modern Horizons 3 set, which we're not getting this year. So it honestly makes Gladiator feel like the better format for stability, having a deck you like, playing it. Whereas Pioneer Lander, I just feel like I'm invested in a world where I'm invested in a deck. I just feel like I'm in the wrong place. I'm like backwards in it. Cause like, in Pioneer Highlander, I'm invested in one deck and I'm not exploring the space, but it's much more a thing of like, when there's a new set, the new thing to do could be the best thing to do. Cause playing with some of these elemental cards or whatever, seems fucking busted. So I don't know. That's a thing I'm keeping my eye on. It's just like how it's going to feel and maybe that's, and I'm only thinking about it because I feel like part of the pitch for it was in as like is like against the feeling of that Gladiator had over the past couple years of just every time you turn around the whole format's being upended. Like that's in Strixhaven, like every set is like completely changing the feel of the format, like through Modern Horizons 3 and even beyond, with like these influxes of powerful cards just like completely changing the character of the thing constantly, which for me was fun because I didn't care about the old Gladiator that was low power or whatever. But now, going forward, it feels more like Gladiator is stable. Because even if they print, like, what more absurd power level cards are they going to give us? Like, how much is left? They've given us so much. Like, what do we not have? You don't have stuff like Power 9, Tolarian Academy, Gaia's Cradle, Caracas, like Wasteland. Because I think if Wasteland were legal, we would get to play with Wasteland, whereas Strip Mine had to be banned. But at least with Wasteland, there's like it encourages, monocolor decks or whatever, so you can make an argument. And we've unbanned so much in that format to where cards have to be pretty fucking powerful to make a real impact, and they're still printing powerful cards. Let's not fucking knock it. Like particularly with Gladiator, it's the alchemy set releases where you're also seeing more stuff. Like that, those are big releases too, and we're getting a bunch of more goblin cards. More goblin cards. Finally, Goblin Pile Driver is going to be on Arena. Yeah, they're still pushing for competitive Brawl, which I saw Amy the Amazonian's tweets about it. Which apparently this is the first time they didn't hire her to preview the new alchemy set to make a video on it, which is interesting. It's also apparently the first set of alchemy stuff that has a new alchemy design team that they hired up a team for building the alchemy cards instead of just like, I don't know, letting the arena devs like napkin board it or whatever. I don't understand what the difference was. But so this alchemy set looks like kind of like cool. It seems more like more of a banger than we've had in a while. Not just like powerful cards, but like fun cards that look fun, and not just like cards that are broken and cards that are just weird and stupid or whatever. It seems better. Seems like there was a step forward or maybe, but we'll see. I haven't played with them yet. Anyway. Yeah. So I'm just excited. Well, excited to play Magic. So many kinds of Magic to be played. But I do wish, on Brawl, the competitive Brawl thing is, it's so funny that they're pushing it because it's such a bad idea. Like if you have a Brawl ranked queue, that makes Brawl, which already it just ruins Brawl, frankly. Because the thing that makes Brawl work at all is that it's kind of casual. It's the the like weighted pairings. The idea that like if your deck is not fully tuned, you should not be paired with a fully tuned deck. Like the way I don't play enough to say how fucking effective it is, but that idea I think is a good one of saying this is a casual queue. If you want to play the most broken stuff, if you want to play Ragavan, you're going to get paired against Tamiyo. All right, like if you're playing the most broken thing, you're going to get paired against the most broken thing. If you're going to play fucking dog shit that you just happen to have on your free-to-play account, you should get paired with someone else doing that too. In theory. But when you make a ranked queue, the thing is, Arena really, the economy of it really incentivizes you to min-max. And Brawl has kind of been the one place that is not just that. Because there isn't a ranked queue. And the thing is, this all happens because there are players who learn the game, and there are so many players who learn the game through Commander, and they just think of Magic as a game where you have a commander, so they don't engage with formats where you don't have a commander. Like getting them to move into non-commander formats is just tough. So singleton with no commander is infinitely better for one-on-one gameplay, in my opinion. Unless your card pool is like really fucking bad. Like when the card pool was dog shit, Brawl was more interesting because it allowed you to have a cohesive deck in a world where it was really hard to have enough density of good cards to have a theme. But now that a card pool on Arena is like robust and well supports 100 card decks of so many themes, having a commander really pushes you into doing just the most obscene broken thing, because you have guaranteed access to this card or two every game. I think you can play companions in Brawl, so you can have access to like 3 specific cards or something if you wanted, with a partner and a companion, which is fucked. I don't know how good any of those are, because I think, well, yeah, I don't know. So they've had to ban a bunch of commanders from competitive Brawl at these events they're running, because, you know, some of them are just fucking broken. Most hilariously, the one that's broke it to me is Rebalanced Nadu, which I think it triggers on each creature only once instead of twice. That card's still too broken as a commander. The Alchemy Nadu banned from competitive Brawl. And it just feels like they're doing a lot of work for a thing that's solved by saying, what if we had competitive singleton with no commander? But I get why they don't do it, because I just think there is this large pool of players that think of Magic the Gathering as a format where you have a game where you have a commander, and that's what they want to play. And some of them want to be competitive about it. It's the same reason CDH is popular. CDH is just kind of dog shit. Except in the specific circumstances that I like it in. You know, it's classic opinion that isn't made to make anyone mad, where I think if you play CDH to make just the most powerful lines happen, and everyone is sort of working together to make sure the best, most competitive lines happen, I think it's beautiful as a competitive, non-competitive game. When you make it a competitive game and people are out to try and win and, angle shoot and are more interested in winning the game than in maintaining the game state, I think it all breaks. I think then it's terrible. Which is why I think CDH is great and tournament CDH is fucking an abomination. But people want to play in events. Playing in events is fun. Anyway, so yeah, they just put in, fucking Gladiator into a queue, a ranked queue. I think that would be sick. And I think that would solve the problem they're trying to solve. Except that the problem they're trying to solve is a competitive format with a commander. Is to get people who will only play Magic with a commander to play a competitive thing. Or support people who will only play with a commander who also want to be competitive. Is like the more generous way to say it. But I think that's the thing that that like crossing this line between getting back to the joy of like singleton but no commander, the truth of 1v1 Magic that I believe in still eludes WotC. And players, I guess. Because I just think the people who want to play with a commander or 1v1 competitively, or at some level, they just want to play with a commander. That's too important to them to let go. That's too ingrained in what the game is about. Once you've attached yourself to that. Which I think is a shame, because I think it's great in... Because I think it's... bad. I think commanders are bad. I think too often they lead to samey play patterns, decks play out the same way, similar ways, in ways that are not interesting to me. And so when I try to build commander decks now, I try to build not with commanders that I feel do that. I guess I would also say, just one of the beauties of commander, you can do whatever the fuck you want because it doesn't matter. But when you make it a competitive ranked format, then all that shit matters, and then it's ruined, and then it's not fun, actually. Because the part that makes it fun is that it doesn't matter, and you can build deck builds based on vibes and what you want, rather than this narrow window of what actually will win games that a ranked queue will point to, and that then once there is a ranked queue, will also focus deck building and deck building resources on. Just kind of one of the problems with Commander, where if you look at decks on EDHREC, they're kind of fucked up. Like, it's not... If you net deck a Commander deck, you're much more likely to find something that's fucked up than something that's fun. Or like the added level of fucked up is like higher than what you would actually want. What I actually think people was fun for playing in a more casual environment or whatever. C'est la vie. Gladiator's pretty fucking good, though. I went 0 for 4 on Saturday playing Dark Jeskai. The games were fun. My lands didn't cooperate in enough games. And also, people were doing absurd things that I couldn't answer. So I think that deck was just maybe not good. Maybe not good. Probably not. I'm not gonna play it again for a while. Although I did randomly, accidentally play it in an LFG game after that, and then destroyed someone who was on a much weaker deck. And it's like, right. The decks at the events are also good. like there are different levels of deck here. It's not that this deck is fucking dog shit. It's that it's, not consistently enough broken to compete with I don't know, Scape Shift or whatever. Anyway, that's a podcast. I can't believe I talked for like an hour. I've got a great title for this week. Pre-planned. Peace.